So I'm putting on the board the question we had about your first paragraph that maybe you can answer. How would they protect their memories and culture through staying in their country? They're staying in their country and protesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said their memories, culture, and what else?
Memories, culture, and their stories.
And their stories. Way off here. And their stories. And their stories. They're staying in their country and protesting. And this is in your opinion, remember?
Yeah.
So just do a quick free write about that.
Free write?
Yeah. A few minutes. You need paper? You got it. Are you done? Sorry, can you read it?
Yeah.
How would...
Well, protesting is kind of like wrong my answer because
So you said protesting.
Protesting is one answer, the way to protest.
So then, how, I guess the question would be then, how does protesting...
Oh, how the protesting looks like?
Or how does it protect these values? I mean, it might seem obvious to like us that like, okay, if they protest, you know, things will stay the way they want it to, right? But maybe saying, like, for when you're writing, you have to be very explicit. You know what explicit means, right? Very explicit as far as like, okay, this is how protesting is going to protect those things. Even though it might seem obvious to you, you just want to you have to treat your reader like they're almost like they know nothing, and really explain it. So take a minute, like, how would protesting protect the memories, culture, and their stories? Like, so tell me a little bit about, like, when they go out and they protest, right? What are they protesting? You say they're protesting against the Shah, right?
Yeah.
So they're protesting against the Shah, and what does the Shah want to do that will affect their memories, cultures, and stories?
So, by protesting, for example, the citizens can avoid the invasion of the Shah.
So So protesting, avoid
With invasion.
invasions. And what are the invasions?
Invasion could be like the like the government forced to like kick out the people from the place.
Forced to kick out the people from
The like their I don't know like examples of like cinema, they burned out the people.
Mhm.
But like Satrapi and their other citizens tried to by protesting and tried to make that never happen in the future.
So they're cause they're protesting because, like, for example, which you explained at the Rex Cinema Theater, they burned it down, and so the Strappi family they're protesting that. So how that's purely they're protesting like they shouldn't like burn down people's theaters and hurt people. So they're protesting that. But how does that protest also protect their memories, culture, and stories? Like
the cinema could be indicated the culture.
Their culture,
Yeah,
okay,
because
yeah.
the cinema is kind of like they're filmed,
Right.
or other stuff like films and their I don't know, like yeah, those all. And it could be indicated also their stories.
Their stories, yeah. Their story, yeah. So like, we're talking about the theater here, and them burning down the theater. Like, what does that represent? Do you know what the word represent?
Yeah.
It represents something, right?
Represent.
Hmm.
Their history.
Yeah, their history, which can kind of be linked to their culture,
Yeah.
and their memories. So even though you're not taking you're looking at a specific incident, but how does that incident, it's kind of hard to think, it's like, how does that incident mean that their memories, culture, and stories will be affected? So let's think about it this way. Okay, so I'm going to erase this here. And let's look at Rex. So Rex Cinema. How do you spell it?
REX Cinema CINA.
Okay. So burning down Rex Cinema. And so we're trying to say, how does the burning down of Rex Cinema represent the Shah trying to destroy? Okay, so let me write that down. So Rex Cinema. This thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Represent the Shah attempting to destroy the Strappi family, the people in Iran, the Strappi and Iranian citizens. Okay, how does the burning down represent the Shah attempting to destroy the Strappi families? I got a camera on me and I can't spell. Families memories, culture, and their stories. And stories. And I think that would be a good a question to answer in your paper, right? Because I didn't see that before. You're connecting the two, which is very sophisticated, you know? That how does the burning down of the Rex Cinema represent the Shah attempting to destroy the Strappi family's memories, cultures, and stories? And that, in answering this question, it'll give more detail to that paragraph. Because you mention, like, you say something about, like, the Rex Cinema, and then you say something about protecting their memories and culture, but it's by protesting the Rex Cinema that they're protecting their memories and culture, right? Because of what the Rex Cinema represents. Yeah, okay. So, I'm sorry, I might have put too much words in your mouth, but what are you thinking?
Or I can, because like memories and cultures and their stories is kind of like those three things are really very huge topic.
Mm-hmm.
Probably can make those three things in one. It could be more easier to answer the question.
Yeah, make it into one.
So memories, cultures, stories. Because like culture and their stories kind of same.
Yeah.
And the stories related to memories.
Because the paragraph is about how if they have to stay in their country and protect their memories, cultures, and stories. And then I'd say, so how would they protect their memories, cultures, and stories through protesting? Specifically the burning of the Rex Cinema. So how would that be them protecting those three things? Oh, sure, please. Mind if I look at your paper?
Mm-hmm.
You a little lost, or what do you think?
I lost.
You lost. Okay. So I guess one question I would ask you is, who is, like, I'm trying to connect the two ideas here. Who's trying to destroy their memories, cultures, and stories?
The Shah and his government.
The Shah and his government, right? So, and how are they trying to do that?
Like they're really force the people, like force the people to like do you guys not have to do this or this, and like they're becoming racist.
Yeah. So here in this paragraph, what specific incident are you talking about?
I'm not sure about not the invasion, but the force of the Shah is restricting their citizens.
Right. And how and what incident? Like, do you know incident? And what event happened that the Shah is doing in this, that you're describing in this paragraph as evidence?
What the Shah did?
Yeah.
Executed the people who executed people who opposed to him.
Yeah. So who and where was that at?
Cinema.
The Rex Cinema, right? So the Shah is trying to destroy, right, the Stroppi's stories, memories, and culture through one incident, burning down the Rex Cinema. So my question is, how would that be destroying their culture and their stories and memories in this specific evidence? How would that represent trying to destroy their memories, cultures, and stories? So let me write it down. So we've come to the conclusion that it's the Shah that's trying to destroy, right? The Shah wants to destroy these things, right? Is that good enough? Memories, cultures, and stories? Is that what?
Well, Shah's trying to form the government, kind of like Shah wants to be a the like how I say the greatest person in the country.
Yeah.
So he wants to. His goal is not to destroy his own country, but try to form his ideal society.
Okay, so Shah
wants to form a ideal society, which is he's gonna be top of the people.
Yeah, wants to form an ideal society in which he is the greatest, right? And so then, after that, you mentioned the Rex Cinema. And so how is that helping him form his ideal society?
By burning the Rex Cinema.
And yeah, how does that help him become the greatest and form an ideal society?
To show his power.
Show his power. So Rex Cinema, he did that. Rex Cinema, burned down Rex Cinema to show his power. Oh gosh. I think I'm distracted. Burn down. So then my next question is, he did that to show power. So why do the Strapi family have to protest it to protect their memories, cultures, and stories?
So so the Shah might be start like change their original culture in their country to to form something new, something like very old might be changed or destroyed, which is their memories.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, if like Marjan was or at this is my example. If she had playground that she really likes it, but Shah didn't like it.
Right.
And okay, we're going to destroy and make a building on that.
Right. Okay. So you say that he burned down the Rex Cinema to show his power, and he's getting rid of the old.
Yeah, getting.
Sorry, old all the old things that are connected to their memories, cultures, and stories. In order to why?
To form his
ideal society. So, gets rid of. What does he get rid of?
Gets rid of
you mentioned a few things, but let's see. So he gets rid of
their familiar places.
Yeah, their familiar places. What else?
Places.
So it's just places that he's getting rid of, such as the Rex Cinema. So he's getting rid of their familiar places, and what does that do for them? What does that do to them?
Due to the Shah?
No, due to the Strapi family. Since he's getting rid of their familiar places, how does that affect them?
It's really sad.
It's really sad, right? But then you mention here, right? If you get rid of familiar places, you're getting rid of a person's memories, the culture maybe they have linked to that, and there's the stories they have, right? But he's not only getting rid of familiar places. What else he's getting rid of? Is he only getting rid of familiar places, or?
It could be their relations.
Their, what was that?
Relations.
Religions.
Religions.
Okay. Religion.
I'll make your family separate. You'll be my slave. You'll be my slave. You'll be my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's too much, right?
It could be happening in the future. If the Shah is still
in power.
Where he has the power, he can do anything.
Right. Okay. So we can move on. I guess what I'm taking from this that I would want probably answered in the paragraph is, why did the Shah burn down the Rex Cinema? Because you say he burned it down.
Yeah, because
and you explained it, right? To me. But in your paragraph here.
My paragraph?
In the paragraph that you wrote here. And that'll add more detail to it as well. That
why he burned down.
Why did he burn that down, right? Do you explain? Because we know he just burned it down. Because he's burned it down because of this reason, right? that you were telling me here. And then the second question would be,
The specific reason why the specific reason why he burned down.
yeah, like,
Because the people would gather people who opposed to the Shah, the Shah's enemy, gathered to the cinema with a chance to.
Oh, it's to kill his enemies.
Yeah, kill.
I see. Okay, but then so this was the cinema was a chance to kill his enemies, right?
Yeah, and it says that doors have been locked from the outside. So.
Right. Yeah. So, but then it's like, yeah, that's his chance. But then, how does that affect the Stropis by him like burning down familiar places like the Rex Cinema? How does that affect the Stropis family's memories, cultures, and stories? Right. So.
Probably this murder could be his Shah's could be his first step to
I'm listening.
Oh yeah, first steps to burning the Rex Cinema could be his first step to showing his power.
Yeah.
And if that happened again and again, it could be directly affected to satrapies. It is just a cinema, but if he start burning small towns, it could affect the satrapy redirectly. They're going to lose their living, their places, or probably their families.
Yeah, their families, and they're like, even if their family's not in the place, it's still you're still getting rid of something that was really important to them in their lives, right? So let's look at so that's like, those are two questions, like when you continue to revise, that could give this paragraph a little bit more detail. So where do you mentioned here, it says the Stropi family should stay in their homeland and join with their families to fight oppression. If the Stropi family left their country, it may influence other families to escape the country. When the Shah burnt down the Rex Cinema, and why did he burn down the Rex Cinema would be the question for this, like the following question, right?
Why?
Yeah, like, you can think about that, like, so, yeah, oh. Yeah, it should, and then maybe another sentence, yeah. And then Marjan's family joined together in order to protest the government. I feel the behavior that parents decided to do to make the action protect their homeland, because they must protect their memories, their stories, memories, and their culture. Okay, so here it's like, so then the next question to be answered is, how does the Stropi family protesting protect their memories, culture, and family, right? And then you would have to explain a little bit more, like by the Rex, him burning down familiar places. I liked what you just said. It might just be one place now, but it could the next day be a town, and and then it might kill their family, and including these things that are important to them, right? So maybe like write that down, because that was really nice what you said, right? I liked it. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so, 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 so,
I liked it. so since we're almost out of time, I want to move on and look at the second paragraph. And yeah, so read through that and come up with 2 questions that you feel like it might, I don't know, we'll talk about the questions that you come up with, but that you feel like you still need to answer in this paragraph for your reader. So thinking about your reader, what would be helpful for your reader to understand from this second paragraph that you have here? Sit down, I guess.
Why is it margin? Why is it the Spanish is what's the margin really likes about
Yeah, that's a good question. So, number 1 for a second. This is for first paragraph, and then for a second. What is it that Marjan likes about Uncle Anish, right? Can I spell that right now? Likes about Uncle Anish. And what are those things? What are those? What do you know? What she likes about Uncle Anish?
Or why she likes Uncle Anish?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if I look over your book, I can find it.
Okay. Because maybe she likes, I'm thinking that maybe she likes Uncle Anish because he protests, right? Like he defends his country or something like that?
He tries
right.
to defend the country, fight against.
And then that should be a reason for, and you're saying that that's a reason they should stay in the country, right? They should stay in the country to, why? Because Uncle Anish protested, and why should they stay in the country for that reason? So Uncle Anish, let's say, like one of your reasons that she likes Uncle Anish is because he defends his country. And so let's say Uncle Anish defends his country, and that's what Marjan likes about him. So why is that a reason that the Strapi family should stay in the country? Take over his place, right. So she likes that about him, and that's what was really important about him. So like to take over and continue to do what he does, right? Yeah. But you have to first introduce like what is it that they liked about him, particularly Marjan, and why that should be a reason that the Strapi family should stay. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions you think that maybe you want to answer in the second paragraph?
How Uncle Anish's resources. What is so sad or bad about the Uncle and Lucius death?
Sad when anybody dies.
Yeah.
But let's think about, let's kind of focus on those two that you were meant, that we're like, what is Marjan, what is it that Marjan likes about Uncle Anoush? Because we don't want to go off topic. We want to stay on Uncle Anoush being a reason that the Strappi family should stay in the country. So what does she like about Uncle Anoush? Let's say that he defends his rights, his country, and you're saying that the Strappi family should take over in his place as maybe honoring him, something like that, right? Yeah. And so we're done, but did you want to take some time to copy these questions down?
Yeah.
Awesome little stand.
I know.
All professional.
I'm totally gonna edit it.
Oh, you're the one recording it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be there.
No. This is for who's recording?
Interesting. Now I'm gonna be the recorder.
I know. You're a star now. Okay, cool. All right, and that's the end of our recording. Thanks for setting it up.
Okay.